Hello Animorphs fans and welcome back to the Animorphs YouTube channel. We did something quite recently, a few months back, where I looked at a bunch of pictures of Andalites and I did it just so I could see which one closest matched what I see in my mind as I'm reading the books. Which interpretation of the Hork-Bajir is most accurate to how I see them. That's the topic of today's video. So, we're going to go through a series of Hork-Bajir images. I'm going to look at them through my iPhone with the Hork-Bajir Chronicles backing on it, which is awesome. I'm going to look through these images and just give my opinions on them. Some of them are from official Animorphs stuff. Some of them are artist interpretations. When it comes to artist interpretations, etc., I will put links in the description, which will take you to the original artist's site. So I will not mention names in this video, but if you're interested or you really like a piece and you want to go say hello to the artists and tell them how great their work is, the link will be in the description. So, without further ado, let's look at our first Hork-Bajir, and of course it is the Hork-Bajir from the books, the ones on the covers, the ones that people are probably most familiar with, and probably the one that most people will see in their heads as they're reading Animorphs. What do I think about this particular style of Hork-Bajir? I do really like it. It was, of course, the one that I grew up with, and when I first read Animorphs, and that was on the front cover, I thought, oh, that's what they look like. So whenever I thought of what's going on in Animorphs in my head, there that was, that particular Hork-Bajir. One thing that seems to be missing from this, that every other interpretation seems to have done, is a lower part of the beak. This one just seems to have like an upper part of the beak. It's got no nostrils. It doesn't appear to have ear holes, unless nostrils and ear holes are just too small to be on this particular version. But we've got to remember that Hork-Bajir are arboreal. Would this creature be able to live in the trees? Possibly. It's got long arms. It's quite slender in its build, and I think it's a bit slender in build than I would perhaps interpret it in today, basically. But I think it's a really good adaptation of the Hork-Bajir, and I'm happy that such was on the book covers rather than some other styles that I've seen. In particular, the one from the TV show. Look at this ghastly fellow. It is awful. The TV show didn't do a great job with aliens. The budget just wasn't there, was it? But this particular one is by far and away the worst model or costume in the Animorphs TV show. It makes the Andalite look stunning in comparison. The neck is weird. The horns are... some people do draw them like this. There's a horn on either side, and the horn then shooting out through the middle, which is not how I see Hork-Bajir. I always see the three raked horns, you know, in a line. The chest on this thing is weird as well. It's got like a massive hole under where its ribs would be. It's like you could store things in there. And the colour, it looks like a turd. The blades are these weird fucking bananas that they've just glued onto the side of the costume. The thing's hideous. It's awful. And I don't think anybody in their right mind would look at that and automatically say, that's a Hork-Bajir. No, I don't think anybody's going to say that. So, yeah, that's probably my least favourite of the bunch. You've got this one, which I believe is from the Shattered Reality game. So you had the PlayStation game, the PC game, and I believe that this particular design was on those boxes. I could be mistaken, but I believe this is the one. It looks demonic. It looks like a demon of some sort. The blaring orange and red on the shoulders and the spine, and the horns, big cruel fingers. It just looks more like a dragon than a Hork-Bajir to me. So I'm not a great fan of this design. It's better than the TV show design, but then again, that's not difficult. A fucking stick figure looks better than that. So that's that one. let's get into some artists' interpretations. The first one is the official artist's interpretation. Not David Mattingly, of course, or who designed the Hork-Bajir and Andalites on the covers? Because I'm pretty sure David Mattingly just put them to... I could be wrong. Whatever. Chris Grime. He does his Animorphs adaptations, and this, I believe, is officially called the Thick Bajar. Not officially, of course. But god damn, he's thick. Now, this it isn't my favourite design. I think it's a worthwhile interpretation, but I just don't see this thing as being arboreal. It looks like a stunted T-Rex, really. The legs it is thick. It's got an arse like a fucking sledgehammer down there, and you got the legs which are very stumpy, and the arms and legs are both very stumpy. And I can't see this thing swinging from the trees. I quite like the little thing it's got on the shoulder. It's an interesting design, and not a bad one either. I quite like that. The blades are... They look like the ones from the TV show one. Just these little pricks coming out the side there. And the horn... The head is a strange shape. It's got like a massive Adam's apple, and then it's got a bulge out the back of its head. Whereas they're described as having snake-like heads, so the design on the official book covers is, I believe, more accurate. A more accurate adaptation. And the horn blades on the head are quite small. But it's an alright design. But it's not my personal choice. This one here is quite similar to the one on the books, but it's much stockier in the shoulders. It's much more green in colour, and it's got the lower half of the beak, which, as I said, I think most artists interpret it that way. So yeah, it's not much different from the first one, but there's a few little changes which I believe make it a little more accurate to how they are described in the books. So I really like this design. I think it does look like it could be arboreal. It's stockier, it's bigger, a bit more intimidating, a bit wider around the top, which you'd expect from a climbing animal. A lot of stuff is going on the shoulders there. And yeah, I prefer the beak of this one. So I really like this one. And it's a stunning bit of art as well. This one, again, is quite similar. But this one, it's almost more human in its build. It's stockier. It's a bit stumpier. The neck isn't quite as long. And I really do appreciate this design, actually. You've also got the extra spine blades going down the tail as well. And it's a lovely design. I really like this one. And I'd be hard... It's one of those where I'd say, yeah, that's sort of how I picture them, how they look. And do I like the longer neck or the shorter neck of this one? It's one of those minute little details that I, as an Animorphs fan, feel like I need to nitpick and fuss about. Because that's just who I am. But that is also an awesome design. And those two, the last two that I did, are probably somewhere between them is how I would see the Hork-Bajir appearing in my head as I'm reading the books. Something like that. I think they're beautiful bits of art, the pair of them. Now, there's a couple more things that I want to throw in here just for the sake of fun. This first one, somebody did a design that's got your front, side and back and everything of this bizarre looking Hork-Bajir's head. It's a fantastic piece of art. It looks awesome. It looks more dinosaurian than Hork-Bajir, and it's got like a single blade thing sticking out the front there, which I don't think is particularly accurate to the books, but I gotta say, if we're going for more sort of Twilight Zone Hork-Bajir, I think that's awesome, and the work that's gone into that is pucker, mate. It's pucker. A wonderful design. And you know what? I wouldn't be too sad if it looked like that in the movie. Maybe I'd prefer the forward swept horn blades. But that is awesome. I really like that. And there's one last thing that I want to show you, and that is somebody did a bust of... I'll show the pictures there now. That is freaking awesome. And the person who created this has said that in the future they hope to have a full body one, which is... I would cry if I saw that. Tears of joy. That is a fantastic piece of work. Absolutely stunning. And I think they've actually captured how the Hork-Bajir look extremely well. Because the thing about Hork-Bajir, they are said to, they do smile and they do show facial expressions, not as expressive as humans, but they do have facial expressions. And I think this look is the look of a creature that can smile and frown, and like they do in the books. So I think I would love that. But I doubt I'll ever be able to buy that thing. Unless I had a particularly large wad of cash. Which I don't. But that's fantastic, and I hope more work gets done on that in the future. And I hope we see more interpretations of the Hork-Bajir in the future. Which Hork-Bajir interpretation do you feel is closer to how you see them in your head as you're reading the books? Tell me in the comments, was it one of the ones I showed today, or was it a different one? If it was a different one, put a link there, or come onto the Animorphs Discord and post it in the sharing, where people do share their artwork. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do a Taxon one in the future as well, and maybe a Yerk one, even though Yerks would probably be a bit less open to interpretation, what with them being basically slugs. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Ta-ra!